Virgo, your week commencing the 7th of April forecast begins with your ruler Mercury going direct. You could hear from a friend at the start of this week and it can absolutely delight you. It may not be that there's been any falling out, it's just perhaps you've both been busy, but that reconnection can be very reassuring. Also, if you've applied for a job, for example, it's possible that you're going to get the email that you've been waiting for. But Venus, the relator, is in an exact conjunction with Saturn at the start of this week. And Saturn is very influential this week, Virgo, because he continues to apply to Venus throughout the week, but also in a conjunction to Mercury, but also the North Node. Some kind of important connection could be made this week in a very positive way, and it could prove to be hugely influential but very lasting. But unfortunately, the converse can be true. If there is an involvement you have, and it doesn't have to be romantic, with a friend, family member, a colleague, business partner, and the flow of communication just isn't resolved by Mercury going direct, there may be something that needs rethinking. And Mars, in a part of your chart that's very much to do with your highest hopes, linking very positively to that energy in Pisces. Mars in the water sign of Cancer, Pisces the water sign too, your instincts are really alive, but it's Uranus in the part of your chart that's to do with independence, freedom, and perhaps even a risk-taking that really brings a very exciting dimension to what this week offers. And because the Sun forges an ambitious link to Jupiter at the start of this week, if you are wanting to go for a job where you want to test yourself out in a more competitive environment, it's all to go for. But whatever skills you've got, whatever talent and experience, that won't count for much if the dimension in terms of the exchange of energy around relationships doesn't quite work. So if you go to an interview or do a presentation and you don't really feel comfortable, however much the project or the prospect excites you, listen to your inner gut when it comes to whether there is a simpatico or not. But as I mentioned, the opposite can be true. You could find a binding connection with someone this week that proves to be really, truly exciting. Now, by the end of this week, there is a full moon, and for you, it goes across your 2nd and 8th house cusp. But Venus rules the 2nd house cusp, where the full moon is. And Venus, in that sector of relating, is not in a very good angle to the full moon. So in a personal context, if your approach to money or values don't quite align with someone you're trying to collaborate with, despite all the goodwill in the world and the best ideas, there may still not be quite enough to push it over the line and start to gain traction for a longer term relationship. Also, in an ongoing romantic tie, if there has been a lack of intimacy, or you both have very different approaches to spending money, that also can be an issue that explodes into the open over the next couple of weeks. So as much as relationships can be very powerful this week, I think it's going to be very powerful in a very dynamic and positive way, but equally in some situations you may need to accept there isn't the level of cooperation and collaboration needed to make future progress. Please check out my new website at www.patrickarundell.com. You can download your free natal horoscope, it's brilliant, or subscribe for your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning, which now has a new edition of the Daily Overview, the review of the most important planetary aspect that day for everyone, as well as your zodiac sign.